The Earfun Free 2 have finally arrived. These are a follow-up to the original Earfun Free that shook up the true wireless market, bringing exceptional sound quality for the low price. But are these newcomers good enough to compete with the best earbuds on the market right now under 50 bucks? The Edifier TWS1 Pro and the Soundpeats Sonic. My name is Jeff, and in this video, I'll be giving you my complete review along with giving you comparisons to these two other top dogs in this price category. Now, if you have any questions or concerns about the way that I receive or review any of the products on my channel, please refer to the full disclosure in the description box right down below. For the TLDR crowd, Earfun sent these to me for review. This does not color my review in any way. There was no other compensation involved, and no one was able to see this video prior to it being published. In other words, the brands will be seeing this video at the same time that you are. So now let's not waste any more time. So first up, let's talk about that connection. So these are running Bluetooth 5.2 along with SBC, AAC, and aptX as their connection codecs. When it comes to Bluetooth range, we've got about 43 feet here, or just about 13 meters. Now, obviously that's going to vary depending on how many walls or obstructions you put in between the earbuds and the device that they're connected to. These are also featuring dual connect, and that is also known as independent mode. This is where you can use one earbud individually while the other one is charging the case. Some people like to do that. Halfway through the day, they'll have one in and then they'll like to swap out to the other one. They're going to have you covered for that. Now, when it comes to watching videos, there's going to be little to no latency to be had here. Whether it's YouTube, Hulu, Disney+, Netflix, whatever service you're using, no issues to be had with that. And then when it comes to gaming, these feature a dedicated gaming mode that brings that latency down to a claimed 60 milliseconds. Now, in my experience playing Call of Duty with this, that latency was pretty much non-existent. I was having a great time. I wasn't having any issues hearing the gunshots and the timing between them hitting my ears. So no problems with that whatsoever. These are exceptional for gaming. Now, to be clear, when you do use a dedicated gaming mode, that is going to wear out your battery a little bit faster. So just be aware of that. If you are gaming, definitely use that. But if you're not, make sure you leave that gaming mode turned off. Now, on the topic of battery life, they were claiming 7 hours with a single charge and 23 additional hours with the case. In my actual testing, I managed to pull 7 hours and 18 minutes at 75% volume. That is exceptional battery life out of a single charge. So pretty good if you ask me. Now, these do also feature a fast charge mode. So if you do drain these out all the way, you can drop them back into their case for 10 minutes, and that's going to give you an additional 2 hours worth of playback time. A full recharge from 0 to 100% takes approximately 2 hours. When it comes to recharging the case itself, you have two options. You've got USB-C and you have wireless charging on board here. So we've got both options. Whichever floats your boat, they got you covered. Now, on the topic of the charging case, it is a simple case, comes in matte black, has that plastic feel to it, very smooth, and it has the Earfun logo sort of engraved into the top of it. So it is overall a very clean and stealthy look. I'm kind of feeling the way it is. Size and shape wise, it is very similar to the Jabra Elite 85T. So it's kind of got that squat sort of wide type of shape to it. Very, very similar. Now, another thing that they have in common with the Jabra 85T is the shape and the size of the earbuds themselves. So these are a medium-sized earbud, very similar, as I said, in shape and size to the Jabra Elite 85T. So they're very ergonomic, they're very comfortable, and they're good for people with medium to large ears. I personally have large ears. So for me, there's no issues with fatigue or discomfort, nothing along those lines. Now, if you're one of the people who happens to have smaller ears, then this could be an issue for you, and you might have to look elsewhere because these are not the smallest earbuds on the market, so probably not a good fit for people who have issues with discomfort while using true wireless earbuds. So just keep that in mind if you fall under that category. Now, as always, spending a couple of minutes trying out the different included tip sizes is going to be crucial for a good experience with any set of true wireless earbuds or in-ear monitors. So the ones that were included with these actually worked fairly well. In the end, I ended up swapping them out for a set of my SpinFit CP360s. Those are my personal favorite. You don't have to go out and get them, but those are my personal favorite as they seal up in my ears much better. So I get improved bass response and I get improved seal. So sound quality is improved on pretty much any earbud that I put them on. Now, on the topic of controlling these earbuds, they do use full touch control, so you get access to everything. Answer and phone calls, play and pause, volume, track skip and forward and back, and they've also give you controls over that gaming mode, so you can activate it and deactivate it on the earbuds themselves. For me, so far, it's worked very well, it's been very responsive, and it hasn't given me any trouble so far. Now, before we move into the next section of this video, I had a question for you. Did you know that I do a live Q&A most Sunday afternoons at 3 p.m. Pacific time? If the answer is no, then please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and this way you don't miss your chance to hang out with me and all of the JEFE fam while we talk all things audio. So make sure you don't miss out on that. We always talk about some of the latest and greatest upcoming products. I give you a sneak peek at upcoming reviews, and I answer your questions live on the spot. So make sure you come through on Sundays. So now let's get into the performance of the Earfun Free 2. So first up, let's talk about the volume. So volume, these are going to get an 8 out of 10 on my volume scale. So that's good volume. Comfortable listening for me on these earbuds comes in at 75 to about 90%. A little louder than I normally like to do, but it's necessary because these are not the loudest earbuds on the market. Now, if you want to pull a little extra volume out of these, you can use an app like Wavelet or whatever EQ app of your choice. You can boost all the levels, and that'll give you a little bit more volume, but overall these are not the loudest earbuds on the market. If you are one of those people who consider themselves a volume junkie or somebody who's hard of hearing, then you might have to look elsewhere. I'm not saying these are quiet. These are not quiet by any means. These actually get more than loud for me, but I know there are people out there who do need more volume, so just keep that in mind. So now let's move over to the sound quality. So first let's start with the bass. Now these have strong sub bass. Not the strongest I've ever heard, but it definitely packs a punch. You get that rumble, you get that nice bass hit, and there is a little bit of bass bleeding into the mids. More on that in just a sec. But overall, it is very good. When I was testing it, I was using a track called Nocturnal by The Midnight. So good. You definitely got to check that out. It's in my El Jefe playlist that I have a link for in the description box. And then also Pray For Me by The Weeknd featuring Kendrick Lamar. Track is awesome when you want to do some of that bass testing. So now let's move over to the mid-range. So overall, the mids have a warm tone to them. They're sort of neutral, they're not forward, and they're not recessed. Now, the bass, like I said, it can tend to kind of muddy into the mids a little bit. So on certain bass heavy tracks, you'll get a little bit of muddiness in there inside of the vocals. So you sort of have to be careful with that. If I'm listening to hip hop or things that hit hard, that's when I started picking that up. But when I was listening to other music, more instrumental or live band type of stuff, it wasn't really much of a problem. So listening to stuff like Metallica, Rage Against the Machine, things of that nature, it actually comes through really nicely. But it was sort of sometimes on certain tracks on hip hop where the bass just hit too hard and it kind of just muddied up the sound a little bit. So just making that clear. For most people, it's not going to be an issue. It is something that I noticed, so I just wanted to kind of bring that up here. Now, moving over to the treble, it is very good. There's good clarity. The separation of instruments and soundstage is satisfactory. Not the best I've ever heard, but still not bad for a set of true wireless earbuds. Cymbal crashes and strings come in nicely. They have a little tiny bit of airiness to them, which is nice. Not a lot of sparkle, but overall still satisfying. That's the best way that I could put it. Listening to songs like Long Cool Woman by the Hollies with that live recording sounds amazing. Do Right Woman, that's an old school track, but it's covered by a guy named Mark Broussard. The drum snares and the instrument separation, very enjoyable. Like I said, to kind of sum up the sound quality, it's good bass, has that warm sound, but I think they could do a little bit better. A little bit of EQ work and you can really make these sing. So now let's move into the comparison portion. In this comparison, we're going to be doing 3 earbuds. It's going to be the Earfun Free 2 versus the Edifier TWS1 Pro versus the Soundpeats Sonic. And we're going to rank them in 3 ways. We're going to talk about the volume, we're going to talk about the bass, and then we're going to talk about overall sound. So first up, let's give them a volume ranking. So number 1, we've got the Edifier TWS1 Pro. They came in at a 9 out of 10 on the volume scale. Number 2, you've got the Soundpeats Sonic. Those are an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. So still very loud, just not as loud as the TWS1 Pro. And then number 3, we've got the Earfun Free Pro that came in at an 8 out of 10, and they're not as loud as either of the other 2. So just making that clear. So now let's talk about that bass ranking. So for this one, calling all my bass heads, earbuds, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a bass head, this is for you. So first up, number one, we've got the Soundpeats Sonic. So those things are absolute bass cannons. If you're a bass head, these are some of the best on the market that bring that rumble and that thump. So don't miss out on these if that's what you're into. Second place goes to the Earfun Pro. They've got that good rumble. They got that warm bass. So still excellent. Number three, you've got the Edifier TWS1 Pro. Now, prior to what I've heard some people saying in my comment section where they're talking about the Edifiers don't have any bass, you need to make sure you're using the proper ear tips. The bass on the Edifier TWS1 Pro is very tight and very accurate and highly controlled, but it doesn't have a ton of sub bass behind it. It gives you just the right amount of impact and it disappears quickly. So if you need a lot of rumble, you've got other options on the market. But bass, that's not what these Edifiers are for. Now, when it comes to overall sound quality, let's rank them once again. Number one, it's going to be the Edifier TWS1 Pro. The balance in the sound, the clarity, the soundstage, the beautiful smooth sound in the mid-range, along with that tight and accurate bass, like I just said, this is what puts them at the top under 50 bucks. And as I said before, and on many occasions, these can compete with many other true wireless earbuds at almost any price range. Number two, you've got the Earfun Pro because they have a good mix of having a stronger bass punch, but still keeping a bit of clarity in that sound quality. So still very, very well tuned. And then number three, you've got the Soundpeats Sonic, and nothing wrong with being this bass heavy. If that's your thing, then obviously these are going to be your number one. But for me, maybe a little less, and it would have been perfect. So overall, that's the ranking. Number one, TWS1 Pro. Number two, the Earfun Pro, and number three, the Soundpeats Sonic. Now, let's move into some call quality samples. I'm going to throw all three of these in here so you can see which microphones are going to work best for you.
All right, so here we have the call quality test for the Earfun 2. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously I'm outdoors, slight breeze today, nothing too wild. So testing, 1, 2, 3. This is what you can expect from the Earfun 2 outdoors. All right, so here we have the call quality test for the Edifier TWS1 Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Once again, we're still outdoors. A little bit of a breeze, but nothing too crazy. So testing, 1, 2, 3. This is what you can expect from the TWS1 Pro outdoors. All right, so here we have the call quality test for the Soundpeats Sonic. So testing, 1, 2, 3. This is what you can expect outdoors from the Soundpeats Sonic. Not too bad. Let's take this inside. All right, so here we have the indoor call quality test for the Earfun 2. So testing, 1, 2, 3. This is the call quality you can expect from these indoors. Semi-quiet environment, so you get a good idea of what it's going to be like. All right, so here we have the call quality test for the Edifier TWS1 Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously indoors, semi-quiet environment, so this will give you a good idea what the sound quality is going to sound like indoors. All right, so here we have the call quality test for the Soundpeats Sonic. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously indoors once again, so this will give you a good idea of what these are going to sound like indoors. So testing, 1, 2, 3. As always, you're going to have to be the judge of the call quality down in the comment section.
With all of that said, if you're interested in checking out my top 5 true wireless earbuds under 50 bucks, check out the video I'm going to leave right up here on the screen. If you want to see my top 5 true wireless earbuds with active noise cancellation under 100, check out this other video I'm going to leave for you right up here. With that said, I'm out of here. Peace.